Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to our backlog cleared video. Today I've cleared my backlog for Kani Releasing and Canadian International Pictures, or CIP. These are two of my favourite labels that I've discovered in the last 6 months. I blame friend of the channel Chris Mohan. These are Vinegar Syndrome partner labels, and along with Deaf Crocodile, they are easily my 3 favourite Vinegar Syndrome partner labels. I kind of go backwards and forwards on which one is my favourite. I decided just to do a joint one for Kani and CIP, as I don't have that many, even though this will be 2 labels that I'll be trying to get all of the titles. Fortunately, they don't have a ton of titles yet. Again, as I've said before, Vinegar Syndrome and what they are known for perhaps isn't really up my street, but certainly Deaf Crocodile, CIP and Kani Releasing are certainly, they have films that definitely are up my street. So I'll start with CIP. Obviously Vinegar Syndrome are famed for their slipcovers, and these labels are no exception, not that slipcovers matter. The first one, which isn't actually CIP number 1, this is CIP BD number 1, so I don't know, they kind of changed their decision on numbering, I'm not quite sure. And this doesn't have a slipcover, so this is Buster Keaton Rides Again. This is the documentary from 1964 when he was filming The Railroader, which was one of his last films. And this release has the documentary. It also has the 25-minute film, The Railroader, but it also has Helicopter Canada, which is a 50-minute piece, literally seeing Canada from a helicopter, which is kind of fascinating. So you have a booklet and reversible artwork, which is the same for all these releases. And we have 2K transfers. There's a commentary with director Gerald Potterton and David DeVolpe on Buster Keaton Rides Again and The Railroader, and there's Gerald Potterton animated films, Hors d'oeuvre from 1960, which is 7 minutes, My Financial Career from 1962, which is 7 minutes, Christmas Tree Decoration from 1963, which is 5 minutes, The Ride from 1963, which is 7 minutes, The Railroader from 1965, which is 25 minutes, and The Awful Fate of Melophenis Jones from 1983, which is 8 minutes, and we also have a 1970 8-minute short film, Canada the Land, which again sums up Canada and its countryside. So these are more just interesting little factoid films, but no less interesting for that. So then we have actual CIP number 1, 001. This is the Ernie game, which is kind of just about a wastrel essentially, or wastrel essentially even. This one doesn't actually have reversible art. It does have a booklet though. Yeah, this stars Alexis Tanner pretty much as a know-it-all wastrel who thinks everybody should love him. It's not the greatest film in the world, but there is a reason that I bought the film, and it's perhaps not for the actual film. Again, it's the second feature from Canadian filmmaker Don Owen, who will make another appearance in this list. It does feature 4 of Owen's shorter films, including Notes for a Film About Donna and Gail, and a remastered presentation of his 44-minute documentary from 1965, Ladies and Gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Cohen. Now that is why I bought the Ernie Game. I mean, the Ernie Game for me is good. It's a fine little film. Not sure I'll rewatch it again anytime soon. But Ladies and Gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Cohen is 45 minutes of pure Leonard Cohen genius. Because he was an extremely funny guy as well. So for me, this was entirely worth getting just for the 44-minute Ladies and Gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Cohen. Notes for a Film About Donna and Gail, which is 49 minutes. A Further Glimpse of Joy from 1966, which was 28 minutes. You get a bonus short, Cosmic Zoom from 1968, which is 8 minutes. So again, you will get a kind of theme going through not only the CIP releases, but the Kani releases, as far as the extras are generally excellent. You get short films and really fantastic set pieces and extras. So this is an example of, I may have accidentally bought the film for that Leonard Cohen piece. Number 2 is The Other French Wave Volume 1. Again, this has got a nice glossy slipcover. This is Le Chat dans le Sac, La Vie Heureuse de Leopold Z, and Yule 871. These are obviously Quebecian films. Is that actually a word? The Cat in the Bag from 1964, 74 minutes, about 2 youths who are unhappy the way things are going, and it follows them sometimes talking into the camera about their lives and trying to find meaning in their lives. The Merry World of Leopold Z from 1965, which is 69 minutes. All these films are black and white, which is about a snowplow operator in Quebec and Montreal, and his adventures during a day trying to get his job finished for midnight mass. And then Yule 871, which is about a Parisian engineer played by Charles Denny, arriving in Montreal for the weekend, having a fling, meeting a child. It's kind of intercut with scenes from World War II, where his father fought. This is 1966 and 71 minutes long, directed by Jacques Goubou, who again will appear in a later list. So these are interesting. I wouldn't say any of them are great, but they're certainly worth a look. They all do look pristine on Blu-ray, and you get 9 shorts as well. We get The Rink from 1962, which is 10 minutes. The Big Swim from 1964, which is 9 minutes. Percy on the Rocks from 1964, which is 10 minutes. There's alternate English opening and closing credits for Leopold Z. We get more shorts, Very Nice, Very Nice from 1961, which is 7 minutes. Christmas Cracker from 1963, which is 9 minutes. And 23 Skidoo from 1964, which is 8 minutes. So again, not necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one to go out and rush out and buy, but certainly there's 3 interesting films, and you can certainly see the influence of the other French wave on the other French wave. And speaking of Jacques Guibou, CIP number 3 is The Mob. Again, lovely slipcover, but we're not bothered about slipcovers. There's just the standard. This is, strangely enough, a Canadian mob film, but it's somewhat off-kilter and odd, which makes it kind of fascinating. This is from 1975 and it's 87 minutes long. So again, it's a little bit odd, as quite a lot of these CIP releases are, and that kind of makes it fascinating. It's a 2K 2K restoration. There is a wonderful 39-minute extra of Criminal Quebecois even, a collection of Quebec crime film trailers from the 60s and 70s, so there's 39 minutes of them, which is fascinating. And you also get Guibou's debut film from 1974, which is 21 minutes long, Le Tribu de Johnny, and we got a bonus short, Hunger, from 1974, which is 11 minutes. So again, packed with extras, and you do love releases that have a filmmaker's kind of short films, because you're never going to find them on standalone releases really. So if you want to see, or if you're a real completist on a director, it's always good to have these short films included. So that's number 3, The Mob. Number 6, so currently I don't have 4 and 5. I did a random review in this because this is phenomenal. This is Don't Let the Angels Fall. You'll recognise the chap from the Andromeda Strain. This is basically scenes from a marriage, but Canadian style and really beautifully shot, flashbacks, really striking black and white cinematography and really phenomenal performances, and it's just fantastic. This is from 1969. This is 99 minutes long. It's a 2K scan. There's a commentary by actor John Michelson. There's 5 short films by George Kazender. This is his debut film. You get Ballerina from 1964, which is 28 minutes. Phoebe from 1964, which is 28 minutes. You're No Good from 1965, which is 28 minutes. Little White Crimes from 1966, which is 28 minutes. And The Game from 1968, if you can guess the length. Yes, it's 28 minutes. And Impressions of Expo 67 from 1967, which is 8 minutes. And there's a bonus short, Toys, from 1967, which is 8 minutes, which is fantastic. So this is certainly the first one that I would highly recommend. Beautiful slipcover. You know, slipcovers don't matter, obviously, but that's certainly the first one I would highly recommend because it's phenomenal. Number 7 is a strange little film. The Kid Brother, also known as Kenny, and this is about a boy with no legs and a film crew from France come to do a documentary on him, and just the family tensions that are involved. It's just a beautiful little film, nothing flashy, but it's just true to life, strangely enough, starring Kenny Easterday playing himself, pretty much, because he had no legs. From 1987, it's 95 minutes long. It's just really wonderful, because it is pretty much shot like a documentary, because it's shot like a documentary. There's a commentary with author, film historian Claire de Genisse and film critic Ralph Anawi. In Kenny's company, It's a 2022 33-minute piece with the interview with the writer-director Claude Gagnon. Yuri and Claude and Kenny from 2022, which is 11 minutes. An interview with Gagnon's long-term producing partner, Yuri Yoshimura Gagnon. Kenny's World, which is 9 minutes from 2022, which is memories from the film's international festival tour. Trailers for the Kid Brother and Gagnon's 3 previous films, that's 7 minutes. And obviously there's a booklet as well. So it's a film that some people might think, oh yeah, that's exploitative or whatever, but it's really not. It's a wonderful performance by Ken Easterday, and it's another film that I would recommend you check out. Number 8 is Nobody Waved Goodbye. Parents ask why, teenagers ask why not. A startling film that shows what teenagers feel but never tell. It's almost like Rebel Without a Cause, Canadian style. And again, this is not necessarily life altering, but again, it's another fascinating little film from 1964. It's 80 minutes. I think longer than that it would probably wear out its welcome. It's just about a teenager with supportive friends who lives in a quote happy family environment and not struggling for money, but he starts shoplifting and generally being restless. Apparently often ranked as the most important Canadian films of all time. And again, this is from Don Owen, who did the Ernie Game. This is better than the Ernie Game, I would say. This is scanned and restored in 2K from the 16mm interpositive. There's a bonus film, Christopher's Movie Madness from 1968, which is 88 minutes long, which I haven't actually watched. 3 short films directed by Dan Owen. Runner from 1962, which is 11 minutes. Toronto Jazz from 1963, which is 27 minutes, which is very enjoyable. And You Don't Back Down, 1965, 28 minutes. Is that 28 minute thing again? Bonus short, Lonely Boy from 1962, which is 27 minutes, controversially. So again, another more of a sort of historical document, if you like, but certainly another interesting one. Next, number 10, somewhat of a departure. This is Mindfield, with the wonderful Michael Ironside, Lisa Langlois and Christopher Plummer. There's the back again with a nice glossy touch. This is about a cop played by Michael Ironside. I mean, the cover would kind of make you suggest it's a Scanners film. This is from 1989, 91 minutes, but it's more about he was in a CIA mind control experiment when he was young, and now he's a cop and he's getting flashbacks whenever he's under stress. So it's not Scanners or a Scanner ripoff. Michael Ironside is wonderful as always. It's a lot of fun. This is a commentary. It's got Mind Meld 2022, which is a 12-minute interview with original director George Michaela. Open Mind from 2022, which is 12 minutes, an interview with producer Tom Berry. Mind Games from 2022, 10 minutes, which is an interview with actress Lina Langlois. And Lisa's Directors from 2022, which is 18 minutes. Langlois reflects on 12 memorable collaborations, and there's a trailer. This is just kind of wonderful sci-fi action stuff, and shows that CIP have some different bows, strings to their bow even, not different bows to their string. Number 11, another one that I did a random review of, The Rainbow Boys with Donald Pleasance, about 3 misfits, if you like, who go up a mountain to try and find some gold. It's just a lot of fun. It's literally a Shaggy Dog story, directed by Gerald Potterton, who I mentioned earlier, who's more famous for Heavy Metal, the animated film. This is from 1973, 90 minutes. Donald Pleasence is absolutely fantastic. You know, the film sometimes doesn't go anywhere, but that's the joy in it. There's genuinely laugh out loud moments in it as well. It's a 4K scan, commentary by director Gerald Potterton, producer Anthony Robineau, and composer Howard Blake. An Hour with Jerry from 2022, which is a 53-minute career-spanning interview. And The Legend of Don Caffa from 2022, a 27-minute interview with author filmmaker Gary Smart, reflects on his life and the work of friend Don Calfa, who's probably more famous for being in The Return of the Living Dead. Restoring the Rainbow Boys, which is a 3-minute piece from 2022. And Pinter People Animation from 1969, which is 16 minutes, which is 4 animated segments written by Harold Pinter and directed by Gerald Potterton, which is a wonderful little extra thrown in there as well. So I'd highly recommend Rainbow Boys as well, as long as you don't go into it expecting, you know, a heavily plot driven film. This is more about characters and their journey up a mountain. The next one is number 12, which was probably the title, or one of the titles, that got me interested in CIP through a friend of the channel, Chris Mohan. If you want to go over to his channel and like and subscribe, you really ought to. This is Kana Satake, 270 Years of Resistance, a film by Alanis Obensawan, who is a native, an Aboriginal person herself to North America. This is about the true life events that happened in 1990 in Canada, where a group of people wanted to extend a golf course by 9 holes, but it was actually going to go into Mohawk land, including a cemetery, and this is the Mohawk Nation trying to stop it. It ended up in a 78-day siege, basically. Pretty depressing, shocking stuff. I won't go into every detail, but it's pretty, you will be shaking your head a lot. This is from 1973 and 119 minutes. But this is a wonderful example of what CIP do really well. There's a commentary from the filmmaker, but then there's My Name is Kahin Tasoka, I apologise for the pronunciations, from 1995, which is 30 minutes, about one of the women featured in the film. And we have Spud Wrench, Kanawaki Man, from 1997, again by the same director, which is 58 minutes, and that features one of the people that something not very pleasant happens to in the film. And Rocks at Whiskey Trench from 2000, which is 106 minutes, again from the same director. About, there was a bit where they were evacuating some of the Mohawk Nation along a road, and they were stoned, their cars were stoned, somebody ended up dying. So you essentially get 4 films for the price of 1, basically, by Alanis Obensawan. Again, I apologise for the pronunciations. So you essentially get 4 films by the same director, all about the same or similar subject. It's a phenomenal release, and again, as several people throughout the film say, you know, this is happening in Canada. We're supposed to be like, you know, one of the freer countries in the world. Yeah, and freedom isn't always free. Number 14, again, this was one of the 2 titles along with Kahanatake that piqued my interest, from Chris Mohan. This is Gina, which works on a couple of levels. On On the surface, it's about a stripper who goes up to a mining region. Is it mining? And it kind of changes and turns into something else. But it's also about kind of the death of industry and kind of people being left behind by modernity, I guess. But it's a wonderful film, and again, it's another stacked release. And this was directed by Denny Arcon, who again, another one of his films is about to be released. I think you can pre-order it from Vinegar Syndrome at the moment, which I probably will be doing. This is from 1975, 95 minutes long. This is a commentary by Kira Janice again, and writer, film programmer Justine Smith. The Exploitation of Gina from 2022, which is a wonderful 11-minute video essay by Alexandra Hella Nicholas, who does amazing work. If Alexandra Hella Nicholas ever wants to come on the channel, she's very welcome. Directing Gina 2022 with 21 minutes, which is a new interview with director Denny Arcon, and new audio interviews with cast members Gabriel Arcon, which is 13 minutes. Paul Baliargion, again, apologies for the pronunciations, 8 minutes. Dorothy Berryman, 15 minutes, and Marcel Sabaran, which is 13 minutes. And there's the trailers for other Arcon films. So this is a wonderful film, wonderful release. And again, thanks for Chris Mohan for recommending it, even though my wallet doesn't thank you. Number 15 is a film that I've actually seen many times before picking up the CIP release. It's Atomagoyan Speaking Parts, and yes, there will be an Atomagoyan season coming soon. Keep saying that. This is one of his early funny ones, because again, Atomagoyan to me is fascinating. How he was almost on a par with Cronenberg as far as quality, not obviously subject matter, and then halfway through his career he somewhat had a change, and he's only just kind of getting back to the Atomagoyan of the first half of his career. This is a great wee film. It's about fame and appearance and, you know, the filmmaking process, the creative process. It's about family, which quite a lot of Agoyan's early films are about. But one of the reasons for picking this up, because I do have it in Blu-ray Studio Canal, not Studio Canal, Artificial Eye, is this has his 1997 film Saraband, which I only had on DVD, burned off of VHS, starring his wife Arsene Karajan, who's in quite a lot of his films, Yo-Yo Ma, Don McKellar, Laurie Singer. So that was fantastic to get this in Blu-ray, so that's kind of why I picked this up. So this has got a commentary with Agoyan and Kanjian. It's got another commentary just with Agoyan. One of them's archival, one of them's new, sorry. Scoring parts, new interview with composer Michael Dana, which is 22 minutes from 2022, because Dana did quite a lot of his scores. I mean, I love the score for Exotica and The Adjuster. A Different Breed from 2022, which is a 20-minute piece on former TIFF CEO Piers Handling, reflects on Agoyan in the 80s. Archival interview with Agoyan from 1989, which is 6 minutes. Deleted scenes with commentary from 2002, which is 7 minutes. Afterward, featuring Agoyan and Kanjian from 2022, which is 18 minutes. Saraband, as I mentioned earlier, is a wonderful little film, which is 56 minutes long. There's a introduction to Saraband by Agoyan from 1998, which is 2 minutes. There's a new Saraband audio commentary with Agoyan and Kanjian. There's an Agoyan student short, Howard in Particular, from 1979 for 13 minutes. Peep Show from 1981, which is 7 minutes, and Open House 1982, which is 26 minutes, with a new introduction by Agoyan. So if you're an Atom Agoyan fan, this release is absolutely stacked and essential. So that's number 15, that's Speaking Parts. And number 16 is Dirty Money, which I think I did a random review on. This is brilliant as well. Or La Maudite Galette. This is a really gritty, almost fly in the wall film about a couple who decide to rob their uncle, or one of their uncles, with hilarious results. Not really hilarious. From 1972, 100 minutes. And again, this is Denny Arcon. So we have a commentary by Col Carup of Can Exploitation and film historian Jason Pachowski. We have Making Money, a 20-minute interview with Denny Arcon from 2023, 20 minutes. Building an Industry, a 23-minute interview with former Cinématique Quebec director Robert Dourdan. From 2023, which is 23 minutes long, new audio interviews with cast members Gabriel Arcon from 19 minutes and Marcel Soberan, 17 minutes, and trailers for Arcon's other CIP releases. This is the 50th anniversary. Time flies. So this is wonderful as well. Really bleak. It does have some lovely surprises and set pieces. So I'd highly recommend Dirty Money. Number 18, The Hard Part Begins, directed by Paul Lynch. It's about a country singer, but it's actually a lot better than what it sounds. It's actually a bit like Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges, but more grittier. Perhaps not one that I would revisit very often, but still well worth a look. From 1973, it's 87 minutes long. This is a 4K scan and restoration from a 16mm print. There's a commentary by director Paul Lynch. There's a commentary featuring Paul Carup and Jason Pachowski again. A Filmmaker Begins, new interview with Lynch from 2023, which is 26 minutes long, which is wonderful. After the Hard Part, from 2023, which is 14 minutes long, Lynch reflects on his body of work. Evolution of a Cinephile from 2023, Lynch discusses his passion for cinema, which is 9 minutes long. An Actor Begins 2023, which is 22 minutes long. A new interview with actor David Daniels. The Easy Part Awaits 2023, which is 12 minutes. Where Daniel Kramer looks at the early career of Paul Lynch. Yeah, I would like to see a David Lynch film about a country singer. Rays on Roads, 23 minutes and 12 minutes. Film historian Amanda Reyes on the career of actor Donnelly Rhodes. An interview with Donnelly Rhodes from 1989, which is 4 minutes. New audio interviews with actor associate producer Hugh Curry, which is 17 minutes, and editor William Gray, which is 14 minutes. Alternate Ending, which is a minute. An Afterword, featuring Lynch, which is 2023, which is 9 minutes. So again, even if the film is just a good solid little film about the end of an era and a country singer who's not actually as good as he thinks he is, the extras are just spectacular again. So that's The Hard Part Begins. And then number 19 is actually a 4K. I mean, it's just randomly a 4K in the middle of these. This is East End Hustle. With, again, lovely slipcover, even though that doesn't matter, obviously. And there's the 4K just for proof. And there's also a Blu-ray as well, which is quite nice. This is grim, but wonderfully grim. It's about two prostitutes, or hookers, if they're not playing rugby, This is from 1976. Directed by Frank Vitali. And this is kind of an experienced hooker and a young girl who's pretty much just been taken on as they try and escape from the fairly violent pimp. So again, it's pretty brutal. People get treated very badly. People die who you think won't die, and vice versa. But you really get a sense of place and time and the kind of griminess of it. It's just a wonderful, dark, gritty film where women are front and centre, and it's pretty fantastic. There's a commentary by Kurup and Polonsky. East End director, 2023, 18 minutes, which is a new interview with writer-director Frank Vitali. The Art Bug from 2023, 8 minutes, Vitali on Montreal, Maine, and his career before East End Hustle. East End Trauma, 2023, which is 14 minutes, new interview with distributor Lloyd Kaufman, of Trauma, obviously. Kaufman's Canada, 2023, which is 5 minutes. Kaufman reflects on his Canadian connections. Renegade Films from 2023, which is 10 minutes, which is a new interview with writer Bill Brownstein on Cinepix and his co-founder John Dunning. There's an audio interview with composer Len Blum from 2023, which is 15 minutes, and the theatrical trailer. So that's the first 4K release by CIP. And then finally the last one I have, but as I said, it's not going to be the last one I pick up. This is number 20. This is a Christmas Martian. And this is as bizarre as it looks. Because that's the Martian, who's literally a guy with a kind of balaclava and netting on. It's odd. It's odd, but it's also a lot of fun. This is only 65 minutes. It's essentially a children's film, I believe. Again, booklet. Well, I think the one after this was The Dog That Stopped the War, which is another children's film, but probably with adult messaging, which I'll have to pick up. So this isn't like a backlog cleared and I'll never get any more of these labels, because that's just not going to happen. Directed by Bernard Gosselin. This was his only feature. Don't know why. Complete English and French versions of the film. I think I just watched the French version. The audio commentary featuring Kurup and Pichonsky. Trailers for all from 1971 to 1994, which is 32 minutes. Which is the trailer for the Christmas Martian, or Le Marchien de Noël, and the first 15 films in the Conte pour Deux series. Trailers for all commentary by Kurup and Pichonsky. A new audio interview with actor Marcel Sabaran. Obviously he's in Dirty Money and one of the other ones I mentioned, which is 13 minutes from 2023. Le Jeu d'Ivre from 1962, which is 15 minutes, documentary short directed by Gosselin and Marchien producer Jean Danzero. La Plage, 1978, 4 minutes, animated short based on a story by Marchien screenwriter Roche Carrier, and a French trailer for Le Marchien de Noël, and a booklet. So this is a lot of fun. Certainly not for everybody, but if you like strange, weird children's films that aren't really children's films, you could do a lot worse than The Christmas Martian. So that's my CIP backlog. As I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm never going to buy another CIP release, because I'm just not, because they're pretty wonderful. I'll move on to Kani. Kani Releasing is named after the special tripod that Ozu built. And these are all Asian films, perhaps forgotten or really old and lost, or not lost now, and some of these are absolutely spectacular. I've done random reviews on quite a few of these, and I could have did random reviews on all of them, to be honest, because they're that good. I think at the moment Kani Releasing is probably my favourite out of Kani Releasing, CIP and Deaf Crocodile, but I mean it's a close run thing. So number 2 is Cain and Abel by Lino Brocca. We need more Lino Brocca on Blu-ray. This is obviously a familiar tale, but set in the Philippines, between two brothers, strangely enough, who aren't called Cain and Abel. It's just phenomenal. Again, it's a familiar story, but it's done in a new, different way, and it's just fantastic. Starring Philip Salvador and Christopher de Leon, and also Mona Lisa, apparently. This is from 1982, 112 minutes. It's just stunningly good. It's a 2K restoration. There's a 12-minute appreciation by Jose B. Capino from 2022. There's an interview with Christopher de Leon from 2022, which is 16 minutes. There's an interview with Carmi Martin, who obviously stars in the film as well, from 2022, which is 13 minutes. And there's a booklet. It is just a stunning version of Cain and Abel. And again, not that the slipcover matters, but it's a very nice slipcover. Number 5. Sometimes these numbers, when you get to my age, they're quite hard to read. Number 5 is Tremble All You Want. Now for me, this is probably the weakest out of the 8 films that I have. It's still a good film. I think I still gave it 3 out of 5, but it's just because it's not really my bag as far as what it's about. This is Japanese from 2017. It's 117 minutes long, directed by Oku Akino, and it's about boys and girls and relationships. Oh, I mean, really? But it's a good film. I did enjoy it, but it's just not my bag as far as being spectacularly amazing. But it's still definitely a good film, and certainly happy to have it. Next is a wonderful film. This is number 8, and this is Viva Erotica, starring the wonderful Leslie Chung. And this is about a struggling writer, filmmaker, who, because of the fact that he's struggling and his last 2 films were a failure, he gets involved with making a Category 3 film, and it's all about his adventures making a Category 3 film. It's moving, it's hilarious in places. Co-stars Kishu, Karen Mock, and Sue Elvis. Directed by Derek Lee and Shi Lung Lo. It's kind of wonderful. It has a heart. It's not as exploitative as it sounds. It's just kind of fantastic. Next we have 7. So I've actually did that in the wrong order. I apologise. This is What's Up Connection. Apologies for the slipcover. It might make your eyes go weird. And it is dedicated to all the nuts of the world. This is by Yamamoto Musashi, who also has another one in the line, which I don't have yet, which also has a similar slipcover. And this is about a family trying to get on in the world. It's about the relationship between Japan and Hong Kong. This is from 1990. It's 121 minutes. It's a slow burn. It does get better in the last half. It does spend a lot of time establishing the characters. Robinson's Garden from 1987 is the other Yamamoto film that Kani has. This has got an interview which is 22 minutes from 2022, an interview with Kei Shu, which is 14 minutes from 2022, interview with Shea Y Kit and Bill Yip from 17 minutes from 2022, and an interview with Michael Wong, which is 9 minutes from 2022, and you also get, there's a scene where the kids of the family end up making forged credit cards, and you actually get one, or a copy of one. I don't think you can actually use it in shops, in the Blu-ray case, which is quite fun. Again, not my favourite, probably the second least favourite, along with Tremble All You Want, but still a good film, but for me maybe a little too long. Then we come to, well, I don't know whether it's my favourite, it's hard to actually tell. It was my favourite, it was my film of the year that I've watched until another Kani release overtook it. It's number 9, and it's Sellout. As you can see, phony instead of Sony. Sellout by Yoon Han Yao. This is spectacularly good. This is from Malaysia, 111 minutes from 2008. It's part musical, part satire of consumerism and capitalism. It has genuinely hilarious moments, and hilarious characters. I absolutely loved it. I would highly recommend it because it's brilliant, and you also get the soundtrack, which does have some, probably about 3 really good songs. There is actually a lot of English in the film as well. It's just so good. There's a Vancouver Festival cut, which is 111 minutes, the Venice cut, which is 107 minutes. There's an archival interview with the director from 2008 at Venice, which is 18 minutes. There's an archive interview with the director at the Locarno Festival 2020, which is 31 minutes. Interview with actor Peter Davis from 2022, which is 13 minutes. Interview with Jerica Lai, which is 13 minutes. Interview with actor Wong Wai Hong, apologies, 22 minutes, sorry, from 2022, which is 6 minutes. An interview with actors Lim Teik Leong and Keith Wan Shea from 2022, which is 10 minutes. An interview with actor Calvin Wong from 2022, 6 minutes. A video essay by Andy Darrow Gomez from 2022, which is 22 minutes. There's a cast commentary on the 111 minute cut, and a booklet, and the soundtrack on CD. It's an absolutely wonderful film, and probably will be one of my films of the year. Next is another one that is an argument for one of my films of the year. It's number 13, and it's Once a Moth. This is phenomenal. It's a film by Lupita Aquino Kashiwahara, starring Nora Ango, J.L. Gann and Eddie Villamayor. This is from 1976, 110 minutes, from the Philippines. It's about people who live next to a US military base in the Philippines, the effects on the community, their livelihoods, the relationship between being an occupied country. Set in 1969. You root for the characters so much, you're invested with them. It's perhaps predictable that inevitably something horrendous happens. It is American foreign policy after all, and it's just phenomenal. You've also got that, some of the people have the American dream of moving to America and making something in your life as well. It's a phenomenal film, and again, this is why these Vinegar Syndrome partner labels are just so good, because they are showing you films that you perhaps have never heard of. Certainly I haven't heard of most of these, and you're just seeing another part of the world. Again, that's why people who only watch films in their native tongue just miss out on so much great stuff. Next, the last two are ones that I've just done recent reviews on, so I won't go into too much detail. Number 14 is Kakabakaba Kaba, or Will Your Heart Beat Faster. This is absolutely nuts. The first half is a bit slow, but the second half just absolutely jumps off the screen. There's two amazing musical numbers near the end of this film. It's about drug dealing. It's about nuns. You actually get another bonus film from 1947, which has got nothing to do with the first feature. It's just an amazing film, even if it's a little uneven as far as a game of two halves, and certainly the second half is better. From 1980, 104 minutes, starring Christopher De Leon again, Jay Elian again. It's so good. And you also get Miss Philippines from 1947, which is about a pageant to find Miss Philippines and the lengths people will go to win that money, and again exploitation and the ecstasy of gold, basically. But for Will Your Heart Beat Faster, there's featurettes, there's interviews, you do get another short film by Mike De Leon. Sorry, this was directed by Mike De Leon. You get interviews with the screenwriter. It's just, again, it's not a perfect film. As I said, the first half could have been a little bit tighter and shorter, but the last 20 minutes I think I've watched probably about 4 times since seeing it. It's just hilarious, the last 20 minutes of the film. And then my new film of the year from 2021, this is number 15. This is Journey to the West. This is just spectacular. About a jaded UFO investigator who decides essentially to go on, not necessarily one last trip, but he's running out of money and he's testing the patience of the people he works with. It's such a great performance by Hayu Yang. It will make you laugh, it will make you cry. It has that wonderful Spinal Tap thing of, yes, this person is a bit of a buffoon, he's kind of wasted his life if you want, but you still have empathy for him, you still root for him, you still care about him, so you're not just like laughing at this buffoon, you do actually care about him. And the ending is just, it kind of destroyed me a little bit. It's just a wonderful film. Yes, a film from 2021 is amazing. It's true. It's just a beautiful, beautiful film. So thanks very much for watching. I apologise for the length of the video, and I apologise for all the bad pronunciations of foreign names. I apologise to each and every country that is involved. So thanks very much for watching. Please let me know what your favourite CIP and Kani Releasing films are. But as I said, this isn't going to be like that's all the CIP and Kani films I'm going to buy. That's just ridiculous because they're just so good. You just never know what you're going to get when you put these films in, and that's the joy of cinema. Again, I get it, there's some people who only buy films that they've seen, but to me, you know, I would never have bought that. I would have never have bought Kakabakaba. I mean, come on. Yeah, I apologise for the rambling nature and the length of this video, but in some ways I don't. This is Saul Chironin from Solitude Ronin Film saying thank you very much for watching. It means a lot. And farewell.